Hey guys, are you excited to hear my new podcast? The topic is truth versus lie. Remember the story in our childhood of Pinocchio? The boy used to tell a lot of lies, and the moment he tells lie, his nose grows bigger. And it was so much that he can't even run from the house to hide his shame. So his nose has grown to such an enormous size that it won't fit through the door. So one of the lessons we learn from the story Pinocchio is not to lie, right? Because only tiny little white lie can turn into a huge problem. Most of us lie from time to time to avoid difficult situations and hide our feelings or intentions. The truth will always come out. So by lying, you are only buying time, but it will probably be worse when it revealed that you were lying, right? So what would happen if lying were the norms? Spouses wouldn't be able to trust one another. Leaders wouldn't be able to give the credibility, and the news would be meaningless. Everything, and I mean everything, depends on honesty. So that's why it's so critical to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Lies usually lead to more lies to cover up the initial lie, creating a vicious cycle. Lying is an easy way out. By being honest, you learn to tackle difficult or uncomfortable situations and grow as a person and become more confident. So did you know that there are different types of liars in our society? You must have heard most of them, right? So I'll just give you a brief idea about the liars. So I would just tell them what they mean. First is white liars. White liars often tell only some of the truth. They won't release the whole truth. So it could be that people mistakenly believe they aren't lying at all. Sometimes a person may use white lie when trying to shield someone from the truth if they feel that it may be damaging or hurtful. However, it can cause problem with the intimacy and trust if you don't deal with it. Second are the careless liars. Careless liars are very different to white liars, as they lie all the time and don't particularly care about the ethics or sense of their lie. Most people are aware that they are being dishonest, as they are usually very sloppy. You may have to be prepared to walk away from a person like this unless they are willing to work on the who, what, where and why they lie. Third one are occasional liars. There are some people who only tell a lie occasionally, and there are a lot of them out there. One of the positive thing about occasional liars is that because they are not in a habit of lying every time, right? So they are usually so overcome with guilt that they admit to their lies and look for forgiveness. If this is the case, if you call an occasional liar on their fibs, they will be more than likely want to work on it and change it. Fourth kind of liars are compulsive liars, often referred to as both habitual and pathological liars. Compulsive liars, as you may guess, are people who has a strongly entrenched habit lie. Lying is their default way to respond to questions, no matter how small or how big the question or problem is. No matter how serious or insignificant, compulsive liar will always bend the truth. They generally feel very uncomfortable telling the truth. According to psychology, the habit is from childhood. So the individual may have been in environments and situations where lying was the only option. At the same time, compulsive liars are not particularly manipulative or cunning. They only lie because of habit, not because out of any sheer intentions. Fifth kind of liar is sociopathic liars. Sociopathic liars are without a doubt the worst type of liars in our society. They lie as often as necessary to get their own way and do not care about other people's feelings or life. For them, lying is a part of their strategy in life. Shame and guilt are alien feeling to them. When approaching these types of liars, depending on the situation, you should always tread carefully. It's not only because the situation flaring up, but because they can be so manipulative and cunning. Make sure you have facts and figures to support that an individual is lying. Particularly if the individual is not willing to change. So you must have seen these different kinds of liars in our society, or must have encountered it. I'll just take a story, you must have heard of it, or you must have watched this movie, which was Liar Liar. Remember the story from Jim Carrey? Jim Carrey, a comedian, Hollywood comedian, artist or an actor. So his movie was Liar Liar, which I still remember was a fun-loving movie, but it was one of the best ever comedy movie I've seen. But that has a message that it's best to tell the truth. A story about a successful lawyer. Entire career is built on the basis of lies. His life takes an ugly turn when his son wishes for him not to tell lies for a day, and his wish comes true. But Jim Carrey tries to convince his son, known as Max in the movie, that adults need to lie, but he cannot give any type of answer as to why he should continue to lie to his son. Liars are not inhuman monsters, and if you are just approaching someone about their lies for the first time, show them love and tact. Obviously, depending on what the lie was, present your evidence and stick to your guns. Some people believe you need to lie to survive in a relationship. That's their opinion. I would argue that this is untrue. Misleading a person distorts their reality and makes them feel crazy, which is one of the most unethical things you can do to another person. So, what can you do to be more honest? You can by being honest with yourself. Too often people are coached by inner critics to not express directly what they want to or what they feel towards other person. Here are few tips on how to avoid the temptation of lying. First thing, gather up your courage and step forward to tell the truth. Others will appreciate it for sure. Brace yourself, go ahead with the truth without overthinking all the possible negative outcome or consequences. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in other person. We usually assume that they won't understand and accept the truth. Fourth, put yourself in other person's shoes, in their position. Would you prefer to be lied to? Fifth, prepare your words and yourself. Being honest doesn't mean being rude or blunt. Think about what and how you will say things to the other person. You still need to be diplomatic and kind in order to avoid hurting someone's feelings, right? Convince yourself that it's better to be honest. If you don't believe it, then you will resort to a lie as soon as situations start to take a negative turn. You will feel better about yourself if you honestly say that you are lying, or is it true or not. You won't have to remember and maintain a web of lies if you are saying the truth. Others will be able to trust you, and trust is the basis of all kind of relationships, whether it's a personal or professional. Others will seek your honest advice and opinion always. There are many reasons why we might be reluctant to speak the truth. Fear of authority is just one of them. Speaking what we believe to be true to someone in authority who might take it as a criticism or be offended, and who has the power to punish us in some way. That can be a situation. Ingrained in many cultures, we are taught to respect and obey our parents, our elders, our teachers, and others in authority. What is that prevent us from speaking the truth to those in power? Fear of punishment, fear of attack, fear of being noticed. There might be many reasons we don't deal in the truth, but the great teams, whether a small company leadership, a public company board, or a politician, learn to speak and deal in the truth. I have always been outspoken in my way, and I am very conscious about speaking truth, but not everyone likes it. I have found that some people admire me a lot, and when I leave a team, those people will thank me for my contribution, but other things of me as in too aggressive and controversial. For those people, it is a relief when I leave the group. It's hard not to care when people don't like you, but not everyone will like you, so get used to it. In the end, I just want to say I realized I can't please all the people all the time. It's important, and it's most important, to be authentic. Stop worrying and speak the truth. You will find that when you do that, the people that matters will thank you for it. So the only thing which I would like to say through this podcast is, guys, believe in yourself, speak up the truth, take one step ahead. Either it's your parents, don't get fear, don't get afraid of saying the truth to your parents, to your boss, to your friends, to your family members, to your wife, spouse, children. The first step will be difficult, but the moment you speak up the truth, they might react to it. There might be a reaction, a big reaction or a small reaction or an emotion. But after that, you will be quite relieved that you have the courage to speak it up rather than lying to make them feel happy. Sometimes speaking truth is hurtful. Sometimes speaking truth is the only way to get out of that challenge and problem. So, request you to be honest. So let's be honest, and you must have heard the saying, honesty is the best policy. That's what I would like to share with you guys today. And I'm really happy coming back on my podcast after such a long time. I was not well, but this podcast has given me a lot of strength. I have even written an article on this, and I will be publishing on different platforms. Thank you for listening to me. I'm really grateful to have such a good listeners across globe. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.